Okay, solve the following equation and give a reason for each step. Remember, these are the type of problems where you cannot skip any steps. You have to do it step by step and give a reason for each. So the first one is the given. So you can just rewrite that step. So now I will distribute the 3 into the parentheses. Remember to distribute it to each term. So we get 6x minus 12 equals 5x plus 2. The next step, I would add 12 to both sides, although you could do it in a different order as long as you follow it step by step. So let's add 12 to both sides. So I use the addition property of equality. And the last thing I would do is subtract 5 from both sides. So I get x equals 14. And that's subtraction property. Okay, so all of these are very similar, and some of them don't require a lot of steps. So just do it step by step and just give a reason for each. Now for this one, we want to write a 2-column proof to show the following. So a given is OP equals MN and MN equals QR. Okay, so we see the segments right there on the side, so we can see what is congruent to what. Okay, so we want to prove that OP is congruent to QR. So in a sense, we're trying to prove a transitive property. So 2-column proof, remember we have the statements, and then we have the reasons. Okay, so first let's list the givens. We can list them on the same line or separate lines, it doesn't really matter. So now we can say that OP equals QR by the transitive property of equality. And then we're going to change it from equal to congruent. So OP is congruent to QR. And that's by definition of congruent segments. Okay, in this case we have some angles here. We have these 2 lines cut by a transversal. We don't really know much about the lines. The only thing we know is that angle 6 is equal to angle 7. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So let's again do a 2-column proof. So in step 1, measure of angle 6 equals measure of angle 7, and that's given. Okay, so looking at the diagram now, we can get some more information. We can see that 5 and 6, for instance, are vertical angles. And so we can say that, actually before we say that, let's convert the measure of the angles to actually having the angles be congruent. So angle 6 is congruent to angle 7, and that's by definition of congruent angles. So now let's go with the next thing that I already mentioned. We can say that angle 5 is congruent to angle 6. Because they're vertical angles. Likewise, angle 7 is congruent to angle 8. Also because of vertical angles. So therefore, we can say that angle 5 is congruent to angle 8. And that's by transitive property, because we can see that angle 5 is congruent to angle 6, angle 6 is congruent to angle 7, and angle 7 is congruent to angle 8. So transitive property.